Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Crafting Sparrow podcast. My name is Amanda, and today I'm going to do another regular podcast. I've been basically calling this a crafty show and tell show to myself lately, and I think that's kind of a good explanation of what I do here. I'm just going to talk to you guys about what I've been crafting. It's all knitting this month. But usually I also have some cross stitch updates and sometimes crochet or sewing. So welcome if you're new here, or welcome back if you are returning. And also I wanted to quickly say thank you so much for all the love for my sweater overview video I uploaded last month, or well, not last month. This was like 2 weeks ago, I think. I usually only do one video a month, so it kind of threw me off. This month I did a little extra. Anyway, thank you for all the love there. You guys really seemed to enjoy that video, and I had a lot of fun recording it as well. I actually pulled out some sweaters afterwards that weren't getting that much love because I didn't realize how much I liked it until I recorded the video. So I have my school teacher cardigan I pulled out today because it's been so chilly and we have the windows open. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for all the love on that video. And I'm really excited to show you guys what I've been working on this month, as well as have a little chit chat at the end, maybe a sit and knit kind of situation where I just talked to you guys about my trip for, my husband and I went to the Great Smoky Mountains last week. Technically it was this week. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about what we did there, and I went to a yarn shop up there in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, and got a bunch of yarn, and yeah, so without further ado, let's get started because I have some stuff to talk about. Okay, so my first finished object is what I'm wearing, and this is the vest number 8 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. This is completely, I'm obsessed with this thing. From the moment I got the yarn in the mail, to the moment I cast on the swatch, to the moment I started the first stitch, like the whole entire way through, down to the button choice, it just means so much to me. Let me just briefly cover my needle choices. I just closed my notebook. I don't know why. I have to use it. Let's see, page 99. So the needles that I used were 3.5 millimeters for the main section of it, so not the ribbing. I did go down 1 millimeter. The recommended was 4.5. If you are new here, that's pretty typical for me. I'm a continental knitter and I tend to knit fairly loosely, but I met gauge perfectly. I'm using Knitting for Olive. The base is their Merino base in the colorway Marzipan, and I held it with their soft silk mohair in the colorway Wheat. Such a luxurious combination of yarn. I love it. I won't use it that often because it is a bit pricey, but definitely worth it for a really special piece every now and then. Highly recommend that. I made a size medium. I started off with a size small, and then I noticed really the only difference between the small and the medium was how much width was between the front and back panels. And knowing me, I like things to be more loose and comfortable, and also knowing that this has to be a layering piece, I wanted to be able to wear more layers underneath it, or just a shirt that isn't necessarily as tight fitted as something like what I'm wearing now. So I did go with the medium, although I probably could have comfortably fit in the small. And it was really nice the way that was set up, because I started out making the small and then I was able to later decide to go with a medium. It was nice to have some buffer time there to determine what size I actually wanted to make. You don't get that very often, especially with, like for example, a Raglan, I guess, or I feel like a lot of sweaters, you right off the bat cast on a different number of stitches than another size, so it was just kind of a unique thing. I really liked that experience. yeah, so that's all the like nitty gritty stuff. I will say this this vest has been a lot of places, because if you follow me on Instagram, and there's a link in the description as to what my Instagram handle is, it's the Crafting Sparrow. But I posted a photo on there of the swatch that I made for this, and I cast that swatch on when I was going to Folly Beach with my family, and then I knit it. We came back and I knit a bunch of this at home, and then I finished it. I did the I did basically just the button band while we were on our trip in the mountains. So this thing went all the way from the coast of South Carolina through North Carolina and into Tennessee. This is a well-traveled vest. And it holds a lot of memories too, which if you know me, you know I love having memories attached to my my craft, so it means a lot. Let me stand up and show you guys a little bit better. It's just a really classic looking vest. I followed it exactly. Like, I didn't add any length, I didn't add any like width. I usually like to add modifications to things, but usually that's in the sleeve, and these don't have sleeves, so it was just a really easy knit. And the cabling is just absolutely stunning. I will say I haven't blocked this yet because I finished it putting the buttons on yesterday, and I wanted to be able to show this to you without it being soaking wet. So it will expand a bit this way, I think, and really showcase these beautiful cables, even though they're already beautiful. This was a really easy repeat to remember. There were a certain number of stitches between each cable crossing section, and it was really motivating to get to the next cable. You know, the classic saying is potato chippy. This was definitely potato chippy. So, yeah. And it has a really nice underarm like space here. I can wear t-shirts with it, like, you know, sometimes t-shirts will, like, the arms will come to like right here. Instead of, for example, this is a lot closer to my armpit. So yeah, I think it'll work great with a lot of things in my wardrobe, and I'm really excited to play around with that too, see what I can wear with it to work and things like that. And lastly, the buttons. So I didn't have 4 of the same matching buttons in my stash. I don't actually have very many buttons in my stash. I just don't collect buttons, I guess. I can see how somebody would, because there's so many cute ones out there. But that's not a rabbit hole I wanted to go down. So I usually just buy my buttons when I need them. And so these were actually ones that I bought at the yarn shop in Gatlinburg. And they're just absolutely perfect for this. This combination, so the marzipan, the base, it's a very, I got the, hold on. It's a very, like, dull beige, I guess you would say. I don't want to say it doesn't have a life to it, because that seems like so negative. It's a really beautiful yarn by itself. But compared to the mohair that I held with it, and I do have mohair, hold on. Okay, so compared to the mohair that I held with it, it's just, what I'm trying to say here is the mohair adds like this golden glow, right? It adds like some depth to it. And I really like that about the way that they play together. It's like really close up. It almost looks like there's golden thread knit with it. And it adds a really nice warmth to it. And this whole vest just like screams warmth to me, not only because of the color, but all the memories as well that I intertwined with it. And the buttons just perfectly harmonize with that. Because I told my husband it kind of looks like the tops of a nice latte. It's got like little bubbles to it. Maybe I'll get a close-up of it and insert a video, but it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a chocolatey golden look to the buttons. I don't know what they're made out of. I just spotted them at the yarn shop and picked it out because I couldn't resist. But altogether, definitely like top 3 knitted item that I've made. I love it so much, and I'm really excited to be able to wear it with different things this winter. It's really, really cozy and warm. And I'm probably just gonna wear it around the house too, because it's just like, I don't know, it just makes me happy. Okay, that's enough about the vest number 8. Let's see what's next. And I don't think you guys even heard me, like, so because I make podcasts only once a month, usually what happens is I buy yarn and then I immediately cast it on. And you guys don't even get to see that yarn as like an acquisition at the end of my videos. So this is one that I hadn't even, it wasn't even on my radar when I recorded last time. So yes, vest number 8. I think next I'm going to talk about my Ovis socks. So these have been a struggle, but I'm really happy with them in the end. I'm glad that I committed to these. I've spoken about these before. These have probably been in 2 or 3 podcasts because I had finished one sock. They were perfect. They fit perfectly. And then I finished the second sock and it didn't fit at all. I couldn't fit it over my heel. Had to end up just throwing that sock out because this has mohair in it and I wasn't about to rip all that out. I knew I had enough yarn to just remake another sock. But I put it in the naughty corner for quite a while. I didn't even want to think about it for probably a month and a half or so. But then there was like a lull in my works in progress and I cast it on again. I had to rip the heel back once and then I re-knit it again and finished it and it fits great now. So they are done and I love them. This is, let me briefly go over the needle size. Actually, I've talked about it in a previous video. I think it was one of my summer videos this year. Maybe I'll probably put a link down to which video I talked about it in the description with all the other projects I talk about today. Or I can figure out how to do that thing YouTube people do where they like point at the corner of the screen and you can click on the video itself and it brings you to it. Maybe I'll get fancy this time, I don't know. But it's with Knitpicks Stroll as the base, and the black and white is Knitpicks palette. And then the whole thing is held together with Drops Kid Silk Mohair. And I did this weird stuff with needle sizes. I knit with a bigger needle for the color work, and a smaller needle for the heel and toe, and a smaller needle for the cuff. I don't know. I did crazy things. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe I went a little too crazy with my needle sizes and that's why the second one didn't fit. Yeah, and I'm going to insert a little video of me wearing them so you can get a nice close-up and see how they look on my feet. Yeah, I really like these. And these are from ThePetiteKnitter. She's actually just got a sweater design, an Ovis sweater pattern. I don't know if it's released yet or if it's in testing. I can't remember, but it's super cute. Has the little sheep detail on it. Okay. Ovis socks, done. Oh, those are upside down. Oh, and also these took some serious wear and tear. We went hiking in the North Carolina Arboretum on our last day in the mountains with some friends, and I literally wore these hiking. Mohair and wool socks hiking. They held up great. My feet were a little bit chafed, but that may have been because I got some new boots. They're Blundstone boots, and brand new boots can sometimes need some time to work themselves out. So I don't know if it was actually the socks that chafed the back of my heels or if it was the boots or a combination. Who knows? That being said, I have a really exciting work in progress to show you later. It's socks, and you'll probably be seeing a lot more sock whips because I got those Blundstone boots. They're really, really cute with hand knit socks. I've been wanting a pair for so long. They're kind of an investment, but I think that they're going to be worth it because you can dress them up or wear them casual, and I can actually like show off my hand knit socks now. Before that, I didn't really have any shoes to wear my hand knit socks with out. So most of my socks were just like house slippers. But yeah. So those are my Ovis socks. Oh, what should I talk to you guys about next? Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about these pair of beanies that I made. I don't have them with me, but I'll insert a picture I'm calling them the Longleaf Pine Beanies. I did the pattern myself, both of them, but you know, beanies are pretty simple as long as you know which crown decrease you're going to do and the measurements that you need for the hat. It's fine. One of them was just a stockinette beanie, and I duplicate stitched Longleaf Pines on them, and the other one was, I believe it's called broken rib knitting, and I just like played around with the colors. So the beanies that I made are one thing. The really, really cool thing about them is the yarn that I used. It's just a worsted weight, like different wool blend yarn, but the cool part is my boss at work, she's also a really, really crafty person, and she went to the Longleaf Pine Convention in North Carolina this past week, and they wanted her to present something that wasn't necessarily so scientific because they would have plenty of people doing that. They wanted her to do something really crafty having to do with Longleaf Pine. And so she took 2 flower breeds that are common and naturally growing in those ecosystems, Coreopsis and indigo, and she dyed this wool with different ratios, and even the green was a combination of the 2, and got 5 beautiful colors out of it. There was the dark orange, a lighter yellow, and a dark blue with indigo, and then a lighter blue with less indigo. And the same with Coreopsis. The orange was a higher concentration than the yellow, and then the green was a mixture. And I looked at these colors and I was like, that would be the perfect palette for like a Longleaf Pine sunrise scenery thing. So that's what I did with the one with the duplicate stitch pines on them. It's kind of like supposed to be a sunrise in the Longleaf Pine ecosystem. And it ended up being way too big for my boss's head, so I made her the broken rib one because I had plenty of yarn left over, and so she played around with the thought of having the one with the pine on it as a silent auction item that people can bid on, and the money would go to conservation efforts with Longleaf Pines. Or she wasn't sure if she was going to keep it for herself, maybe. I don't know what she did, but either way, I had so much fun making them, and she loves both of them. I made this really big pom-pom. She loves pom-poms on hats, and it was just a really cool, like, just side collaboration project having to do with Longleaf Pine ecosystems, which I care about a lot. I think they're beautiful. It's the majority of the forest in the southeastern area before we came through and cut a lot of it out was Longleaf Pine ecosystems, and you know, they're having efforts to preserve those things and the wildlife that lives in them, and it was really cool. So I really appreciated being able to help out with that project. So yeah, pictures were up there, and that was that finished object that I did. So next we'll move on to, I guess we'll do the Lewsky hood next. So this was another project that you guys, I don't think I mentioned it as my future plans last time either. Oh, let me get the book out, hold on. Okay, so this is a pattern in the book Moon and Turtle. Kiyomi and Sachiko Burgin, I may have pronounced that wrong. They released a book in, when was this? It's from Pom Pom Press. I actually didn't know that. Published in 2021, so it's a relatively new book. And I saw this and I added it on my Amazon wish list, and I just set it there, and if like any of my family members wanted to get me something for Christmas or birthday, whatever, it would be in there. And my mother-in-law bought me this for my birthday my past birthday in September. And so my first pattern that I made here was the Lewsky hood for my husband. It's kind of hard to see what you're looking at here because, yeah, that's the hood hole, but it also has a face shield in it. It was an optional thing you can add. And so, let me see if I can... Oh, okay, this is complicated because I did this weird thing to the back of it to better fit my husband. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But basically, there's this face shield here. Let me just put it on here. Oh, my hair. So you got the hood part right here. And then there's the face shield. It's a bit big on me because I made the large size. My husband has a ginormous skull, so I made the largest size for that. And this is made out of Knitting for Olive's heavy merino. I ordered it when I ordered it for my the merino for my vest. And then it has these drawstrings, and you can just get really cozied up in here. He's really excited to be able to wear this in the wintertime with some of his jackets that don't have hoods themselves, so you can just stick this on and then put the jacket over it. Yeah, it was really cool to be able to make this. It's a construction like nothing ever I've made before. It's got a really nice double folded brim and shaping for the hood. You can see the decreases there. And then double knit brim around the face and a drawstring. I definitely tried to do the drawstring like they told me to, like basically you wind it up yourself with a lot of tension, but I failed at that, so I just did a braid and it looks great. Let me tell you the needle size. I think that I followed this one exactly. I swatched for this one on the car ride to the beach with my husband. What page? 98. Okay, so I did go down needle size on this as well. It recommended 5mm. I used a 4.5mm. I think you use like a really small needle size for the double knitting as well. I didn't write that down. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. Yeah. And the main color is like it's called slate green. It's like a really, really dark foresty green. And then the face shield is with their navy blue color. It's really, really dark. You probably can't really even see the blue that well, but I kind of like it that way. It's not as noticeable. So the thing that I did that makes it weird on the face shield, I knit it how they called. I did a certain number of stitches on the inside and just knit I think it's a 2x2 rib. And the ribbing just didn't cinch in as much as I thought it would, or even like what I'm assuming it was supposed to do, so that it would like hug onto your face when you put it up and not slip down and be like a cowl kind of thing. It's supposed to stay close to your mouth. So instead of ripping back the face shield, which I'm thinking I might need to do now, I just had my husband like pull the back so that it was the tightness that he wanted. So you had 3 layers of fabric layered over each other, and I crochet slip stitched. The yarn's so dark you're not gonna be able to see what I'm trying to show you, but basically I crochet slip stitched the cast off edges of the 3 layers together so that it's a much tighter like face shield. It works. It definitely adds some extra layers on the back of his neck, and if that's something that is going to get on his nerves or whatever, I can easily just rip it back and re-pick up the stitches. I have the yarn, like I've said before, if I've knit it in a larger size and need to knit it smaller, I have plenty of yarn to do it. Plus I have an entire other, no, I used the 2 balls that I bought for it, but barely any of the second, so I can definitely rip it back and try it again if I need to. I wouldn't mind. It's a really nice yarn. It smells very sheepy, and it's, I wouldn't say soft, but just very like a nice woolly feeling. Really enjoyable. I like it a lot. Really cool to do as well. I loved this construction. I kind of want to make one for myself. I kind of don't. I found some other really cute hoods that I think I want to try instead. But I do highly recommend this pattern. I don't think you have to buy the book. I think you can just look up Lewsky hood on Ravelry and you can just buy the pattern for that. Yeah, Lewsky hood. Okay, what's next? Oh boy, I think my next one is gonna be yeah. My last one is my Great Gingham sweater, which I'm gonna rip back. Oh, This is just one of those things where you finish the project and then you just realize that you're never gonna wear it, and that's okay, and you're just gonna repurpose the yarn. And in this case, this is the second time I've decided to repurpose this yarn. It is finished. It looks super cute, not on. Let me try to put this on and show you guys what I don't like about it. I don't think it's the pattern. In a certain degree, I think people have made really, really beautiful great gingham sweaters that look beautiful on them. But I'm not a fan. I tried to do some short row shaping in the neck because it doesn't have short row shaping, and other people have added short row shaping. Let me just show you. Okay, it doesn't look too bad in the camera right now. I think that it's just the yarn is so thick. I know it looks ridiculous with my long sleeves like that, but I think that because the knitting is the gingham pattern, which basically it's just color work all the way up, that adds 2 layers of this yarn, and I think that this yarn's just it's not drapey at all. It's just stiff, and it's not soft, it's quite itchy, and I would want to wear this without anything other than a bra underneath. So I have so many other sweaters that I like way better. I think I'm just gonna rip it out and make a shawl with it maybe, or I don't know. I don't I don't know what I'm gonna make it. It's just gonna be one of those things in my stash, I guess. I have been really interested in stash busting stuff, so maybe that's its destiny. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny though, because I put a post on my Instagram about the fate of a yarn. Because like I said, I was gonna make a cardigan design with this and decided I didn't like the subtleness of it, but I love the subtleness of it in this this pattern, this gingham style. And so I knit the sleeve and took this really cute picture and wrote all the stuff about the fate of yarn, and you just know when you cast it on, that's what it's meant to be. No, I was wrong. It's not meant to be this either. I don't know what it's meant to be. Yeah, I tried to do some short row shaping, which I succeeded. It definitely is higher. But it's got this rolled look to it. It's like boat neck-ish. And I did a lot of decreases to get it here, and it's still too big. I'm not a fan. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the pattern and yarn combination. Oh well. It is what it is. Toss it to the side, frog it out, whatever. If you guys are interested, I can tell you the needle size I used for it, and the yarn. So the yarn is Eco Hemp Cascade yarns in gray brown color. It's like a beige brownish tone, and then a yellow. I don't think that they have names for those. If they did, I didn't write them down. And then the needles was 3.75 for the body and a 3.5 for the ribbing. Size medium is what I made. I wrote down cast on and immediately fell in love. I did, but then I immediately fell out of love as soon as I cast it off. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. That was my last finished object though. And I don't have very many whips, so we'll just go ahead and get started in that. So my first work in progress is my socks that I mentioned. I'm very excited about this. Look at this stripy sock, you guys. This is a self-drafted pattern. I find myself not wanting to try and get gauge with whatever sock pattern I pick out, and socks are those things where if you've knit a couple, you know the anatomy of a sock, and there's tons of tutorials and things you can look at online that breaks like pieces of socks apart, so you can just like, I'll do the toe of this tutorial, I'll do the heel of this tutorial, and then just do whatever stitch you want to do on the foot and the leg. That's basically what I'm doing. I did a wedge toe. I started off with 8 stitches on each needle, and then I alternated increase rounds and non-increase rounds until I got to 60 stitches. And then I split those stitches and did just stockinette on the bottom, and then I did a 2x1 on the top, so it's a nice rib. And then I got to my socks. My foot length is about 9 inches, so my toe was 2 inches, and then I knit until I had about 7 inches. I think it was 52 stitches. And then I did a short row heel, which is definitely going to be my go-to heel from now on, because I tried this on, and it is perfect. It is so perfect. And then right now I'm working on the leg part, which is going to be a fairly long leg because, as I said, I got those Blundstone boots and I want these to be able to show. So it's probably going to be like that tall, maybe. And then I'm using the 1.75 Haya 9-inch circulars, and for the toe and the heel I'm using 1.75 Haya's just like long cable, so I can use magic loop. But the most exciting part about this yarn is about the sock is the yarn. This is a hand-dyed yarn from River Kelly from Knitter's Homestead. She's on Instagram, and she also has a YouTube where she posts just breathtaking, calming videos of her just going around her homestead in Georgia and picking flowers and baking stuff and just spending time with her family. And I love all of them, and you need to go check it out. Just go give it a watch. She's super sweet, and I actually ordered her holiday event calendar for this year, which is my first yarn advent calendar that I've ever bought. So I'm really excited. And she does a beautiful job, as you can tell. Like, look at this Halloween. It's called Pumpkin Patch. Like, how could I resist? And it makes such beautiful stripes here. I'm not sure if you can really tell from this distance. Maybe if I show you the bottom of the foot. It does this alternating between these dark bluish black stripes and this bright orange. And then it'll have this like pooling of like a brown, different like shades of brown. And it just, you can kind of see like this is the brown stripe, then you have the black and orange stripes, and then brown again. And then because of the circumference changing with the heel, you get this really thick stripes. And I think that's fairly common when it comes to like self-striping socks and stuff. I don't think you would consider this self-striping. It's just like a hand-dyed sock yarn. And it's blue face Leicester with nylon, I believe. Here, I have this is her cute little label. There's little bees on it. 80%, I guess SW Southwest Blue Face Leicester, and 20% nylon 2-ply. So that's that. I was really excited to get this and just start this ribbed sock. And while I bought it, I went ahead and just got this cute little progress keeper / stitch marker. It's a candy cane. It's adorable. Basically, this is my autumn project, and I love it. Yeah. So that is my first work in progress. I'm almost done with it, and I'm really excited to wear it with my Blundstone boots. It fits really well. So, and I think with me, socks sometimes can be hit or miss, and I think that's why I'm really happy that I tried to do this like my own pattern kind of thing. So I don't have to worry about gauge. I just go with it, and then I write down what I did, and then I repeat it. And it's not color work, so I don't have to worry about not fitting over my heel. All right. That's my first work in progress. God. It's a project that is a work in progress. Okay. My second work in progress that I have to show you. I have another one that I haven't technically cast on yet, but I swatched for last night. So my next one is a gift knit for a really good friend of mine. I don't think he watches the podcast. If he does, oh well, you're gonna get spoiled. So O'Neill, if you're watching, you can watch if you want, but if you don't want to get spoiled, skip ahead. I doubt you're watching. Okay, anyway. So he's a really, really big Boston Bruins fan. And I'm not really a sports person. But we and a couple of our friends have really just like bonded over this hockey team. And I was watching Caitlin from the Cozy Moth Knits last podcast episode. She did like a catch-up thing, and she went over this cowl that she's making for the Seattle Krakens, I believe. She's doing this whole stripey thing where if the Krakens lose, she does one color, and then if they win, she does another color. And like it's just going to be a stripey cowl representing the hockey season, like their win and lose track. I thought that was really cool. And if I was to do it, it would be for the Boston Bruins, for my friend. Because if anybody was going to appreciate it, it would be him. So I'm not doing a cowl though, I'm doing a scarf. And here it is. They've only lost once so far, so we've only got one little black stripe. But this has been really, really nice just to do it. It's 4-row. This is a design for myself. It's just a 2x2 rib scarf with an edge that, I don't know what you call this. It's on the right side. You slip the first and last stitch knitwise, and then when you do the wrong side, you just purl those edge stitches. So it makes this really clean edge. Yeah, and then I'm using a double point needle, 5mm, and this is just some acrylic Hobby Lobby yarn. I think it's called Soft Stitch. It's a really soft acrylic. He can wash it if he wants to, and it'll be fine. And it's like this golden color and just black, I think, is the colorway. So yeah, I think I'm caught up to date. So I feel kind of bad because I'm like almost hoping that they lose so that I can add another black stripe. Although if I think about it, if that's the only game they lose, it'd still be kind of cool. Or like if they lost at the same like time at the end, it would just be one black stripe at the front and one black stripe at the end. I don't know, I think it's a really cool idea. It just like, you don't know what the scarf's gonna look at the end. At the beginning I was like, what if they never lose? It's just gonna be a gold scarf. I guess then my friend would be really, really happy, because then there'd be a really good season to remember. So yeah, that's my Boston Bruins scarf. And then, look at my bag. My last work in progress, which like I said, is not technically something I can show you because I haven't cast it on. But I did. Oh, I have the swatch still. Oh, I do have something to show you. This is the bag I made, by the way. There's a lot of new people here, and I don't think I've talked about this in a while. It's a bag that I sewed myself for a make-along. I like it. It's where I keep my secondary projects, because I usually don't have more than 2 or 3 projects going, so. Anyway, I digress. This is going to be the Terrazzo neck by ThePetiteKnit, I think. Yeah, ThePetiteKnit. It's like a cowl, like a turtleneck cowl, but it also has a flap in the front and the back. And I'm using Lang Yarn's Alpaca Superlight as the Mohair substitute. I've always wanted to try an alpaca substitute for Mohair, and this one just was really good for the color that I wanted to hold it with, which is Knitpicks Wool of the Andes worsted weight. They were having a sale. I knew I wanted to make one of these already, and they were having one of their classic price sales that they're doing. I don't know if they're still picking a yarn each day or each Thursday or something like that, where they do a classic price for a specific line of yarn that they have, which basically means it's on sale for that day. And this one was on sale, and you could only pick 5. You could only buy 5 of one color. So I bought 5 of these, which was the perfect amount for the Terrazzo neck. So I was like, how could I resist? This color is adorable. It's like this really teddy bear, like a dark teddy bear brown. It's called Bramble Heather. filled with this Alpaca Superlight, which by the way has more of has a lot of different fibers in it. It's 54% superfine alpaca, 24% nylon, and 22% fine merino. So there's that. And then, so here's my swatch. And the pattern said 4.5 millimeter needles, and I swatched with that, and it is just a little bit too big, which is normal. I assumed it would happen that way. But the thing is, I'm probably going to be pushing it with the amount of yarn. I only got 2 skeins of this alpaca, laying alpaca. So the pattern called for 50 to 75 grams for the small medium size. There's small medium as one size, and then there's large, extra large for the other. And I think really the only difference is the length for the shoulders, like how much width there is for it, and the height of it, of how far down it goes. So I'm gonna make the small medium and keep the 4.5 millimeter needles, and hope that because my gauge is a little bit bigger than what they're expecting, like maybe I can squeeze out some extra yardage for my my laying alpaca. Is that how that works? I don't know. But usually I have yarn left over when I have the right amount, like when I've bought the right amount for the size I want. So that combined with this little hack I'm trying, I think I'll probably have enough. And if not, this yarn wasn't that expensive, and I bought it from, there's a company in the United States that has free shipping for the United States. I don't remember what it's called. It's the first time I ordered from them, and they were super quick to ship and really sweet. And I'll probably put the name somewhere on the screen or in the description box where I bought it. Worst case scenario, I just buy another one of those, but I think I'll be okay. And I like this. I like the swatch too. It's like a High Fiber Knits. Her name's, I'm blanking on her name at the moment, but she always has this thing where she talks about pairing a darker colored mohair, or mohair substitute in this case, with a lighter base, and it almost like brings out this lightness from within, and that's kind of what I was going for, and I think it works. I think it looks really good. Yeah. I like it. So that'll probably be done for next podcast as well. Oh, I've made a mess. I am 43 minutes in. That's actually not so bad. Okay. So I'm going to actually have some acquisitions to discuss with you guys this time. If you're new here, I usually don't have a bunch of acquisitions. I kind of clump it together with my future plans, because the way I buy yarn is I have projects in mind for them. Usually. Sometimes I don't, but 9 times out of 10, I buy yarn for a specific project, and usually, like I said, I've already cast those on, and they become whips or finished objects for that podcast. But this time I actually do have stuff to show you, because when we went to the yarn shop, I of course bought yarn. But I think what I'm going to do is briefly talk about some rough ideas for future plans that don't have yarn associated with them, and then I'm just going to clump my acquisitions in with my just kind of like life stuff, storytelling about my Great Smoky Mountains trip. So as far as future plans go, I plan on making a scrappy sweater. So if you are on Instagram, you probably saw the Kai sweater that just released, and it's super cute, and it gave me some ideas to make my own like color block sweaters, but like it's gonna be with scrappy yarn with different weights and stuff, so I don't want to like buy that yarn and then my gauge be completely off. So I'm gonna try and do it myself without a pattern, and it's just gonna be something to use my worsted weight yarn with, because I'm making the beekeeper's quilt. I've talked to you guys about it in previous episodes with my fingering weight yarns, but I have so much scraps for worsted / Aran weight stuff, so I want to try and make a sweater with some of that. I might cast that on for next podcast, probably. I've been itching to do it for a while. And Jennifer from the Honeybird Studio, she's on YouTube and Instagram. She did a patchwork cardigan recently, which turned out stunning. And it got my gears moving even more for this sweater idea. So I'm really itching to get it cast on. Just kind of finishing up some other stuff and really wanting to get my Terrazzo neck started too. So it'll probably be like a secondary project. It's going to be scrappy, so I'm not expecting to get it done very fast. So yeah, I want to do that. And then I wrote down lots of small scarves / kerchiefs and hats. I have a lot of extra skeins from projects that just didn't use up that much yarn that I just want to really make some nice hats. I've got some Knitting for Olive fingering weight yarn and Pearl Soho Good Wool that needs to be used, like full skeins worth. So I have plenty of decent amount of really good yarn that I just want to make some really nice hats and scarves and stuff with. So I have a feeling I will not be buying yarn for new projects for a while, probably till next year, if I'm being quite honest, because I have this stuff to show you now and all this other yarn that I need to get used up, and my advent calendar coming in December. So I think I'm good with acquisitions for quite a while. So that being said, that's what I've got planned, and I'm going to grab my socks, grab my water, and do some knit and chat about my trip to the Smoky Mountains. If you are not interested in that, you will have to hunt for the yarn that I bought. Here, I'll quickly show it. This is it. And I will, I'll probably put something in the description box if you're curious as what they are. Yeah, so these are what the yarns I'll be talking about. So, okay, let me get my socks. Where are they? They're down here. In my bag, my favorite bag. And let's start talking about this. So I say let's talk about it. So we didn't really do a lot of things. It was mostly us just hanging out at the cabin. So we went to this cabin resort it's near Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So it's like right at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And this cabin was amazing. So if you don't know, my husband and I, we've been married for 5 years now. We've been together since 2010. So we were high school sweethearts, but anyway, love of my life, just casually. Anyway, we've been, for the past 3 years, we take our anniversary trip like a bit delayed because our anniversary is at the end of September. We wait a couple weeks and go to the mountains. We go to different places. We've been to Blue Ridge, Georgia. We've been to Candler, North Carolina. And then this year, like I said, we went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. A bit more northern than we've been before. And it was worth the extra drive because that week that we stayed was stunning. Like, the leaf colors were at peak color change. It was so beautiful. And the cabin that we stayed at was, dropped a stitch. The cabin that we stayed at was over a creek. Like the porch just dropped off into a creek. It's pretty dry up there right now, so the creek wasn't like flowing very hard, but you can hear like a nice little trickle and just like colorful forest view all around you. It was beautiful, and it had real fireplace in the downstairs, like the main room, and upstairs in the bedroom, which means a lot for us because we love just having cozy fires. Last year when we stayed in the cabin, we literally spent an entire day just keeping the fire going inside and just like cuddled up, and we just love it. So yeah, we did that. We had lots of fires, and they had a hot tub, and we made grilled cheese sandwiches, and just basically just staying in and just enjoying the cabin and each other. So We did go out a few times. We went to Pigeon Forge has like this touristy thing called the Island. It's just your typical like touristy thing. We ate at this place called Timberwood Grill. They had some really good salmon. So we did that one day. Went and got my Blundstone boots from REI. Ended up going back the next day because we had like extra money to spend from becoming a member there, and got a bunch of stuff. I got this really cute puzzle that's like wildflower. It's just got like really like old-timey drawn flowers with their scientific names on it. So we've got that set up on our dining room table right now. And we did that, and then on our last day we went to Gatlinburg. Before I talk about that though, I wanted to tell this little story. So we had this we had the back door, right? We sit in the living room, buyers going. We had the back door open with the screen door shut so like bugs would stay out and stuff, but we could hear the creek and wildlife and stuff. We really, really wanted to see a bear. We always want to see a black bear when we're out in the mountains, but it's never happened. We've never seen one like out just in the wild. Of course, we respect the bears. We don't like intentionally put stuff outside for them to come. We just want to naturally see a bear. So we're sitting in the living room, and I'm like, Tyler, do you hear that? Like rustling sounds by the creek, and like he was hearing like sniffing sounds and stuff. We're like, oh my god, it's our bear. And Tyler walks outside and he looks down, and there's this really, really cute raccoon just like sniffing around the creek side, and he got spooked and he ran up a tree. And like at that point that's when I walked outside, and I was like, what is it? And I look out, and there's this raccoon just like peeking his head around the tree. It was so cute. Of course, I tried to run back inside and grab my camera really quickly and take a picture, but I did get one picture of him walking back around the creek side, sniffing around and, you know, minding his own business. But that was a really cool experience. And it was really cool. I didn't actually see, but I heard lots of birds that I don't typically see where I live. So 2 new ones for me, winter wren and hairy woodpecker. I usually have downy woodpeckers. I have downy woodpeckers all the time in my yard. They're basically a bigger version of that. And winter wrens are really similar to what I see as Carolina wrens, but they are slightly different and have a different call. So it was really exciting to be able to hear that and try to take pictures and stuff. But it's like just the wildlife nerd part of me got really excited about all that. How do people knit and chat on these things? I got like 4 stitches in so far. So fast forward to our last day. We left a little early from my cabin so that we can go to Gatlinburg, so we can go to the Smoky Mountain Spinnery, which is the yarn shop I went to. I said before that I like to go to a yarn shop each anniversary trip that we go to so that I can buy some like memory yarn and make projects that have memories of that cabin trip like knit into it. So we went that morning right when they opened, and such a lovely shop. There was 2 really lovely ladies working there, and just chatted with them, and I asked one of them what's their favorite, if they were to pick out a sock yarn for me, what would they pick out? And she pointed me to the sock section of their shop, and she was like, you got all this stuff here, and then she's like, I told her about like wanting to make a really like memorable sock from it. She pointed me to this, well, a bunch of yarn from this company, and they have the company's called the Copper Corgi. It says Fiber Studio of Coastal Florida. Has a little corgi on it. And the sock is called Savannah Sock, which is funny because I live near the Savannah River. And it's just 100% superwash merino. It's 490 yards for 115 grams. And so the thing about this is this company, she told me this company specifically dyes colorways for the Smoky Mountain Spinnery shop. And they're all based on the different seasons of the Great Smoky Mountains, which is amazing. It's called the Smoky Mountain Collection, and they had one for spring, one for summer, one for autumn, and I actually didn't see the winter one. I don't know if they just didn't have it or if I didn't see it, but I of course got the autumn one because I went there during autumn, and it was the most beautiful colorway. It is the most beautiful colorway. So I'm gonna make probably another ribbed sock like what I'm doing now, but with this color, and I'm really excited. I love it. So yeah, that's that acquisition. And then I wanted to buy a sweater or cardigan's worth of yarn, and I just kind of like perused on my own and like just saw the different bases. I don't get to go to yarn shops very often because I don't have any local ones around me, and it's really nice to just be able to feel and look at big companies that I have to buy online usually, like Rowan or just some other ones. Rowan's the one that stuck out to me, so that's the one I remember. So yeah, it was really cool. But I came across this yarn. It's Juniper Moon Farm, which I asked the lady there if it was like a local dyer or anything like that, and she said no, it's actually a fairly big company. I had just never heard of it before. And this base is called Moonshine. She said that's why they have it in here, is because Moonshine tends to, it just fits in with all this stuff, because you know you got I think it's called Smoky Mountain Moonshine Place or something like that. It's the mountains. Moonshine has relevance there, I guess. But this is a luxury blend of Peruvian Highland wool, extra fine baby alpaca, and organic silk, and it's a single ply yarn. And I got these two colors because they have high contrast. Let me hold it out here so you can see it. It's like a really dark chocolatey brown with almost like a silver to it, and then just like this plain white color. It's really soft, and I'm gonna try and make my cardigan design out of this. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that. I'm really trying to motivate myself to actually make that, because I keep mentioning it and I really want to make it, but I could also just make a pattern that somebody's already written up with this, but no, I'm gonna try. So yeah, that's what I got from these. I got 2 skeins of the dark brown and then 3 skeins of the white. Okay. So that was our trip. We drove through, and we were gonna meet a friend that we actually hadn't met in person before. We've been friends with him on Discord for a really long time, and he was in the area when we were, so we're like, oh, let's meet up in person. So that was really cool. We met up at the North Carolina Arboretum. Like I said before, with my Ovis socks, we hiked and just hung out, ate some good food. But to get from Gatlinburg to that, we were going to be there way before they were, so we took the really scenic route and drove through the actual Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which was stunning. Oh, just absolutely breathtaking. I've only ever been there, I think once, maybe twice before with my family when I was like 6 or 7. So like I've been to the Appalachian and areas around it, like Pisgah Forest and stuff, periodically. But the actual Great Smoky Mountains National Park, I don't think I've been in but like twice in my life. So it was just a really nice like memory lane, going back when I was a kid kind of thing, like, and all around just breathtaking. I highly recommend you go if you're in the area, or if you're just looking for a national park to go to, you should do that one. It's beautiful, and they have lots of like overlook scenery and campgrounds, and just it's amazing. Yeah, so that was my trip, and we got back home and I got the puzzle going, and I've got lots of knitting projects to do, so it's nice to get home and have a couple of days off from work still and just relax, and yeah, so, and I miss my cats, which I'm surprised Ashley's not trying to get on my lap this entire time. Usually she wants part of the camera scene, but I digress. I'm gonna go, you guys. My voice is tired. I'm really thirsty and hungry, and you girls gotta eat. So thank you for sticking around and listening to my storytelling. If you stuck around, I guess if you're listening to this, you probably stuck around. You're crazy. But thanks for everybody that's joined here. I got a bunch of new people here. I'm blown away by how many people have just joined my little channel here since, I guess it was the past 2 videos of just like a spike of subscribers, and that just, it just blows me away to see people wanting to, I'm so awkward with it. Like, thanks for clicking the button and wanting to listen to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to, it's not an obligation, but you do it anyway, and it warms my heart. And seeing all of the commenters on my last video, like, being able to just talk to you guys about my stuff. And I wanted to say, oh my gosh, you guys gave me so much wonderful advice for, like, the issues that I had with some of my sweaters and cardigans, and why they weren't as loved and worn as the others. Like, you guys were on it. And I really, really appreciate it. And I've definitely added some projects to my, like, mending and fixing part of my craft, because you guys are just brilliant. So I wanted to say thank you for that too. And I read every single comment, sometimes multiple times, because they make me smile. So yeah, thank you for that. And you can follow me on Instagram too. I'm more active there than here, because I only do this once a month. But I like to kind of like give you sneak peeks of what I'm working on, and I attempt to post actual photos every now and then. Sometimes it doesn't happen as much as I want it to, but you know how it goes. So anyway, thanks for sticking around, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys have a wonderful November coming up, and you've got something that brings you a lot of joy on your needles, or whatever craft you